Grade parents, thank you for taking the time to watch this tutorial so that you can help your child with their multiplication homework. I recognize that many of you did not learn the box or lattice method when you were in school. So I hope this video helps, and if it doesn't, please reach out to me by email or by phone and I will help to clarify any questions that you have remaining. So, today we are going to look at the problem 25 times 16, which equals 400. Now this is probably what you guys did when you learned how to multiply double digits in school. 6 times 5, you get 30, you carry your 3, and you go through the problem as such. You have your placeholder, and then you continue with the 1 times 5, 1 times 2. And when you get the two numbers, you add them together, which gets you 400. Now, the box method is a little bit different. We draw a big box, and then we draw 4 compartments. And what we do with the box method is we break it up so that 25 becomes simpler numbers. We get 20 and we get 5. 16 then becomes 10 and 6. And in each box we do a multiplication problem that's theoretically simpler than 25 times 16. So up here in the upper left we do 20 times 10, you get 200. 5 times 10, you get 50. Then coming down here to the bottom left we do 20 times 6, you get 120. And over here in the bottom right you get 5 times 6, which is 30. And then, now that we have all these products, we add them all together over here on the right, lining them up. So you get 200, 50, 120, plus 30, and all of that adds up to 400. The lattice method is a little bit different. In the lattice method, you don't break up 25 into 20 and 5. Rather, you write 25, but you make sure that the 2 is over this first box and the 5 is over the second box. And then you write 16 as 1 and 6 on the right. Now, the lattice method gets its name because of these diagonal lines that create these triangles. And these triangles allow us to write numbers that have a tens place value and a ones place value. But we're just going to walk through this problem and you'll see where that comes into play. So starting here in this first upper left box again, we're going to do 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2, which doesn't have a tens place value, so we put a 0 in this upper triangle, and the 2, which is in the ones place triangle, this lower triangle. Moving over to this right upper box, we're doing 5 times 1. 5 times 1 is 5. So we put the 5, which is in the ones place triangle, and we put a 0 in the tens place triangle. Now moving down to the bottom left, we do 2 times 6, which is 12. See, this is where the tens place triangle comes in handy. We can just write a 1 and a 2, and it's 12. Coming over here to the last box, we have 5 times 6 as our problem. And with 5 times 6, we get 30. Again, we're going to need the tens place for our 3, and then we put a 0 in the ones place. And now that we have all of these boxes and triangles filled out, we're going to do the remaining part to get our answer. So we're going to start down here, and it's important that they always start down here in this lower right triangle. And we're going to go diagonally and add any numbers. So in this case, it's just a 0. So then we're going to put a 0 in this space down here. Now we're going to move up to this next diagonal line and we're going to add these 3 numbers together. So in this column, or diagonal column, we have 5 plus 3 plus 2, which equals 10. So then we put a 0 here and then we write a little plus 1 here so that we don't forget about the 1 that gets carried from the 10. And then we move here, we get 0 plus 2 plus 1, which is 3. Then we have to remember to add our 1 that came from over here, and we get 4. And there's our answer right there, 400. So, I hope this helped. Thank you for taking the time to watch this. Remember that the goal with the box and lattice method is that students are doing multiplication problems that are simpler for them with 2 times 1 and 5 times 6 or 20 times 6. It's a little easier for them than 25 times 16. And if you have any remaining questions, please feel free to just let me know, and I